So welcome to this segment as I continue to look at the 5070 paper 2 2024, question number F5. This was under the periodic table. It says, thorium, Ti has atomic number 81. Use the periodic table to help you answer the following questions about, thorium or thorium if you're pronouncing it that way. Then A1 says in which group is thorium. So what we need to do, since Ti has proton number 81, we need to write the electronic configuration. So remember, in the first shell 2, in the second 8, because we have a lot, the third shell can accommodate a maximum of 18. So when n is equal to 3, the maximum electrons it can accommodate is simply 18. And the fourth shell, in this case, can also accommodate up to 32. Using the formula, the maximum number of electrons is equal to 2n raised to the power 2. If you want, you can substitute and actually check that. So now again, if you look at it, 2 plus 8 is 10, 10 plus 18, that's basically 28. We still have more, meaning in the fourth shell, I can still accommodate that. Let me say 28 plus 32, that will give me 60. So we can still accommodate again, 32. Then what are we going to do? Remember, up to 81, can we accommodate again 18? Because we can't go back to 8. Yes, we can actually accommodate that. So again, we are going to have 18. We can't go back to 8 unless otherwise. So that would be plus that 78. How many are remaining to 78? 79, 80, 81. So that is 3. So this is your electronic configuration that you needed to write. So in which group is thorium found? So it is actually in group 3 because there are 3 electrons in the outermost shell. If they wanted you to know the period, you just count the number of shells filled with electron 1. So it would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So for this element, it is actually in period, it is in period 6, but in group 3. So you needed to know that. So please, you can apply that, to actually know the electronic arrangement or configuration. How many outer shell electrons does an atom of thorium have? So they are talking about how many outer shell electrons. So it has got only 3 electrons. It has got only 3 electrons. Remember, these are also called the valence shell. What is the likely formula of thorium ion? So because it has 3 electrons, in most cases, yes, Ti would actually give out those 3 electrons so that it actually becomes stable. But in nature, you don't find this one. You are going to find thorium positive. This one is actually the one that is common, and it is actually more stable. This is the one that you are going to find. But for the sake of this example, would have actually gone with that because there are 3 electrons that are there. So would you expect thorium to be a metal or a non-metal? So from looking at that, basically we can say that we expect it to be a metal. Now, what is the reason why we are simply saying that it could likely be a metal? So if you look at how many electrons are there, if you go to the periodic table, because the question actually told us to say we can use the periodic table to look at that. All those that are found in group 3 are usually metals. So the reason why we are saying that, probably I could have said because it conducts electricity. In other words, it has actually metallic bonding because it's a metal. So that is why we are saying that it is in that case a metal. So you could have actually gone like that and actually answered it that way. Then C says calculate the number of neutrons in thorium ion. So I'm not going to use this one in the meantime, but it's the most common one and most stable. I'll stick to that. So they want us to find in this guy how many. So if you go on the periodic table, Ti, it has got 204. It's here. If you go to, it has got mass number 204. So the number of neutrons will be equal to 204 minus 81. So I'm going to say 204 minus 81. So that will give me 123 neutrons. So now remember it says in the ion, yeah, but it's the number of neutrons. Remember the question wanted you just to, to confuse you. Whether it is an ion, you are going to find that the number of neutrons are simply found in the nucleus of an atom and they do not change. And that's what you needed to. Here they just wanted to confuse you because they have told you an ion, but you didn't need to confuse yourself. And then it says, how many shells does thorium atom have? So remember what I said, how many shells? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it has actually 6 shells. No wonder I said it is simply in period 6. Please watch out as we come and look at, S6. So we are going to come and look at S6 under energetics there. Thank you so much.